been on my mind. Gotta hustle and grind. Financial literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. Gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are back at it again with another monthly update, the financial update. Welcome to May. It's the first full week of the month. That means you're going to get me tapped in every day this week. Starting off with this episode, which is our financial update, which is where we go back through and do our recap financial analysis for the previous month. Reason we do that is because what is tracked improves. I'm going to say that again. What is tracked improves. It's one of the most pivotal life lessons that I've learned in my existence. When I got on the scale and realized that my body fat percentage was up at 25 and I wasn't looking the greatest, I started going to the gym, got back in shape. I get on the scale every week now, make sure that I'm in the same range. And guess what? I'm in the same range. When I did my first net worth assessment and realized that I was worth $- and felt like a huge piece of poop, real bad about myself at 25. I started doing it every month. I've been improving ever since. Does that mean that every month is better than the previous month? No, but overarching, my years are better than the previous years. My quarters are better than the previous quarters most of the time. But it's something that I do every month. So before we dive into it, because this is going to be cleaned off my whiteboard today. Still in the shot. But before we do that, I want to make sure you guys hit that like button on the way in. Tap on that subscribe button if you've been here more than 2 times. Welcome to the Wolf Pack for those of you who have taken the opportunity to tap that subscribe button. For those of you who have forgotten, make sure to hit that little bell icon down there below and make sure it says all on so that you get updates as my episodes premiere. Also, you'll get updates on any of the other special stuff. Every once in a while, I'll jump on a live to talk about money on my other channel, to do panel discussions. I will post the ones that are bag related over here on Future Financial Strategies. Also, once we get to the appropriate subscriber account, we will start having some lives over here. But yeah. And then most importantly, share this with people you care about. Maybe share it with people you don't care about, but you're in competition with and you don't want them stifled. And you want to make sure that you're telegraphing your moves, that you're about to put leaps and bounds of distance between you and them. But, you still want them to be able to be in the game so you can beat them while they're at their best. That's kind of my MO. Share this with people. But let's get into it. So, yeah, we did the breakdown the end of this month. We had a really good rally coming up on the end of April, coming into the beginning of May. We're currently in it right now as this will be airing. And I'm here for it. The market is returning what was taken. We took advantage of the dip. We are still in the dip on a lot of positions. I mean, a lot of stuff is still down. So there's still some dip to be purchased. For those of you who don't buy all the way down, you wait for some indicator that the market's going back up. I would say that we might be in that space. But, returns are returns. So couple of things we're going to start off, and I'll go ahead and give the metrics by which we are that I'm tracking personally. So these are my personal metrics that I am looking at, and I'm going to go ahead and line them out and tell why, and then we'll get into the numbers. So first and foremost, net worth. Overarching game for me is net worth. I do not track my net worth the way that most people track their net worth. So I'm not prioritizing dead assets as much as liquid assets. This is one of the things that I do a little bit different one of the things that I consider to be more futuristic, my house is not a priority. So I do not own the biggest house I could possibly buy, because that to me is a dead asset until I start, maybe tapping into some HELOC income or something of the like. It's a dead asset. Like, you got to move to get a hold of that money. I do not prioritize my 401k. That is not a priority for me. Again, dead asset. You get penalized unless you're of retirement age, and we are retiring early. So that does not make any lick of difference to me. So my net worth is not predominantly my house and my 401k, which for most people who like to get out here with these boomer-esque opinions that are dated, antiquated, and non-efficient, that is the bulk of their net worth. They're a millionaire, but they don't have access to any of the money. Are you a millionaire then? You have to go to work. You have to continue slaving because you prioritize everything to keep you in the job market forcefully first, versus getting out of the job market and then, maybe then worrying about those things. So for me, I'm doing the inverse. I want to be at work optional, financially independent, retired early. Then I'll care about having a big house. But I own a house. So, it is what it is. It's just a difference in methodology. I mean, I looked at the financial scape that we were in, and while net worth is important, I think the composition of it is equally important, because if you don't have access to the money, if we can't pull up with our dump trucks and be like, hey, here's my money, where's your money? And you're going, oh, I can't, I gotta get out of my house. I gotta take a 30% hit on that to get it out to show, like, then you're not that wealthy, in my opinion. You're trapped in a system with golden handcuffs. Like, you're still waiting until you're 70, 80, or whenever they decide to let you stop working. That doesn't math for me. The savings percentage, I do keep an eye out on my savings percentage. And that's kind of one that I got from doing a little research into the FIRE movement. I am not a big fan. FIRE movement is also pretty much antiquated. I see some of the most horribly mathematical ideas, but they do focus on their savings percentage. And, you chew the meat and spit out the bone when it comes to understanding what these other ideologies are doing. The FIRE movement, apparently it does work for some people. The savings percentage actually has been a big help for me. The rest of it, like, I've even seen the FIRE movement, they're starting to like move into the Bitcoin space and try and talk about crypto, and it's terrible. Like, the ideology of eating your portfolio is just stupid to me. Like, it's just dumb. Like, everything's reliant on the market. Like, you don't generate any income, and also you're not investing anymore. Like, that, it just sounds dumb. Like, it doesn't sound like it's effective. Like, you're praying that you don't have to go back to work at that point. Like, we try to shore up the ship with redundancy over here. So, but the savings percentage, I am on that, and it is something that I look at. It also helps me understand how much money I'm spending. So that's because I'm terrible at budgeting. That's another thing. So I also track my income month to month, total income. I just like to know how the income came in comparison to how I'm saving money. It's just one of those things. I'm like, hey, obviously I got my salary, but the variable there is going to be how effective I was at hunting and how well the dividends came in, basically. So those are things that I look at. I also track my dividend income specifically because I like to know how much income is coming in from dividends. I also track my DeFi income specifically because I like to know how much is coming in from that. And then I also track my credit score because I understand a bunch of people say credit doesn't matter. Guess what? When you're a working class brokey or of the like, working class or lower, it does matter because that is how you boost your ability to save. I understand that people are like, oh, credit, you shouldn't have credit cards. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. And I'm like, that's cool. You're just not getting wealthy as fast as I am. Like, that's fine. Like, it's not, you're doing it the harder way. Like, great. Kudos to you. I don't want to work a day longer. I don't want to have to do what I'm doing a day longer than I have to. So For me, I'm trying to get out, which means I'm using all available tools on the board. And I do understand that most of you use credit to prop up your lifestyle, to look like you're doing something, to look like you have something when you actually don't. And that's cool. Do you, boo-boo. Over here in the Wolfpack, we use credit and credit cards to fund accounts. We are using credit to buy assets. When I say that most of my debt that I do have is asset backed, that means that if I sold off everything that I was holding in my assets, if I liquidated my accounts right now, I would actually have a little bit of money left over and all the credit card debt would be gone, because the majority of it was used to buy said assets that are producing income. So we're working at different things. Like your idea what a credit card is and my idea what a credit card is are two totally different things. And we're getting two totally different results, obviously, because you're in debt up to your eyeballs and worth negative dollars on your net worth. And my balance sheet, the income's going up and the net worth's going up every month, almost, pretty much, with the exception of market fluctuations. So the use of the tool is kind of important. And just because you don't know how to use a tool doesn't mean that the tool is bad. Let's get into the numbers, people. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about the net worth. We are up $15,808.52 from last month's net worth. In the month of April. So like obviously that end of month rally was really good. We were buying the dip, so that actually helped. It dragged our average cost down. Also, as we bounce back a little bit harder. Great stuff. Crypto, obviously, Bitcoin went back up. We're back over our last year's target of being over a quarter million dollars, which is cool for the net worth total. So we're back above $250,000. We came into the year really strong as well. We just took that hit once the tariff talks came about, which is why all the boomers are upset because they got to go greet at Walmart and put the fries in the bag. But you know, we're still working. We still have income. So like we're building on that position. And I think that we're going to be marching steadily towards our goal of being stably above 300,000 this year for net worth. I have faith that we're gonna blow by that target, but that was my target. So we'll see how that works out. Moving on to our savings percentage. Now this has been one of the peak months, but there's a reason. So our savings percentage was at 71%. Did I buy stuff this month? Yes. Did I eat this month? Very well. Did I have unexpected expenses pop up this month? Always. The reason that we are at 71% is because we are now tapped in and utilizing margin. And even when I utilize margin, that still gets flagged under investment money because I am deploying capital to invest, which goes into my investment pool. Those of you who hate credit and don't like debt, plug your ears. But again, this is one of the reasons that we are moving ahead. And specifically, the only thing, like I don't use margin for things that I'm hoping to grow and sell off later. I use margin for things that are producing income monthly or weekly. Reason being is I immediately start paying it back. Since I'm immediately starting to pay it back, I don't have to worry about margin calls really, unless I deploy margin and the market tanks 50% the next day. Caveat, what if? Risk I'm willing to take. But we did deploy a little bit of margin. Not a lot. I give myself a $5,000 limit over my Charles Schwab. We're at 3,000 something, and I've got money going back into, I got a couple of, like a little bit over 1,000 going back in to pay down that. I just wanted to get my buys in early. And yeah, like we're moving along. So our savings percentage is up there as a good month. We normally target trying to be above 40% personally. That's kind of my threshold. If I'm below 40%, it's either a month where we really were paying down some debt. So I just focused and threw everything in the kitchen sink at doing that, or we bought something big. those are the only two things that would really get me below that 40% marker at this point. Now that we have all the credit card debt kind of scooped into where we're on maintenance with large pay downs to kind of attack some of these balances, because everything's sitting currently in a 0% interest position. We're kind of got a little bit of breathing room. So this month I attacked the margin heavy to kind of get us some extra pay. So that way, once we're ready to start knocking this debt the rest of the way down, we're in a position to do that. The total save this month. Actually, let me jump over to that screen real quick so I can look at that. So I did not look at that in comparison to last month. Actually, this month was a big month. Last month, our total savings percentage was at 87.85%. So this is actually down. So that explains why total save, because we deployed a lot of margin during the dip as well. Paid it back, redeployed not as much because we're higher numbers. So our total save this month was $3,802, which is down from the $5,101.24 that we saved last month. Yeah, that's still a good amount of money for me. I'm not complaining about it. We're focused on, obviously we're still well above what my standard metrics are. So it's crazy because it's like, well, these numbers are less than last month, but like last month you also just saved a redunculous amount of money. Like, okay, well, that's fine. Our total income is down $348 because we didn't make as much money as we made last month. Going into the dip, but we're okay with that. We're okay with that because we save most of it. Most of it goes towards investment at this point. Investments or debts, that's what we're doing. Our dividends, we made $1,628 total, down $101 from last month. Like, obviously, we rolled out a little bit slower moving portfolio with our Robinhood play. That's a weekly payer. We also did a little bit of trimming out of our portfolio in the sense of we sold off some of our positions to kind of get a jump start on the debt, to clear out all the debt that was accruing any type of interest. We paid off one of the credit cards that was at 0% interest, which was a Target card. And then we are not a Target like the store, but a card that we were targeting. We were like, hey, this is a balance that we could probably do with getting rid of. Cleared one of the cards. Starting in on the next card, which is going to be our Citibank, it's a bigger balance. It's $9,000, so that's the focal point now. But we are setting aside, out of this next cash infusion, I am setting aside the maintenance for all of my cards that are in the 0% positions, and we will be focusing in on just getting down to the daily driver. Our Robinhood card has come in, so we are getting ready to start, seating that in the daily driver position. And yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with that. Our DeFi income, we only cashed out $25 this month, which is down $324 from last month. There's just, during the dip, the payments don't stack up as well. So in May, we'll probably have another few $100 cash outs as we're making the adjustments and transitions over in those portfolios. Credit, we are sitting at 710 as of the end of the month and climbing because we are actively paying down those credit cards. So we're bouncing back. That's up 9 points from last month. Again, we use our credit. So as you're using the credit, the number fluctuates. For those of you who've been with me for a minute, you know that this gets up into the 820s. I don't think that credit just sitting there at 820. If your credit's constantly at 820 and you're not using it, it's just what it is, which is fine if you want to play the numbers game. But like, I use my credit, so sure, we'll drop it 100 points because we're going to deploy credit and buy assets. Ooh. Hold on a second. Make sure we're still going. What are we doing? Oh, okay. Okay. Whew, freaked me out for a second. But that's what we've got for our financial update for the month of April. The numbers are in. This is what they are. We're moving forward. And obviously, these are numbers that we're going to be comparing for over the month of May. That's my reference point. So everything that I do in May, it's like, hey, are we matching or beating these numbers? That's kind of what we do. And we're just like, hey, we keep following the plan, watching the growth happen. When growth doesn't happen, we got to sit down and figure out why. When growth does happen, we have to acknowledge our wins and understand how we can further capitalize on what is working. Till next month, this has been the financial update for April 2025. It's your boy Reckless Radenero, and I am out. Peace.
Money on my mind, yeah. Focus, got no time for games, nah. I don't play it, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.